Sustainability Karma, a podcast series on sustainable development, sustainability, and ESG, or environmental, social, and governance, on AIR FM Rainbow Delhi 102.6. In this podcast series, with senior journalist and editor Rajiv Tikoo, a who's who of thought leaders from the government, private sector, and civil society share their mantra for accelerating development in India and making the world a better place.
Welcome to this episode of Sustainability Karma. I'm your host, Rajiv Tikoo. Today we have a very special guest with us, Prof Stuart Hart. He is one of the founding fathers of corporate sustainability globally. A Fortune 500 consultant, in India he has worked very closely with the Tatas apart from others. In this edition of Sustainability Karma, we talk about his recently released new book, Beyond Shareholder Primacy, Remaking Capitalism for a Sustainable Future, and related issues. Welcome, Prof Stuart Hart, to this edition of Sustainability Karma.
Delighted to be with you.
What's the highlight of your new book, Beyond Shareholder Primacy?
The way that capitalism is being committed today is not the way it's always been committed. You know, that capitalism has gone through cycles of excess, of extraction, followed by reform and reinvention. That there have been times, when it's been dominated by what Keynes called the animal spirits. So that it's within our reach, it's within our grasp to fundamentally transform capitalism itself. And I think that's probably the main takeaway from the book.
You're one of the pioneering thought leaders in corporate sustainability. How do you look back and ahead as of now?
I think we've, as a society, sort of gone through several evolutions over the last, say, 40 years, kind of the time frame within which I've been working on this. And now, we have terminology like diversity, equity, and inclusion, and so forth. And now ESG, and I think one of the other things that has characterized this space is the evolution of buzzwords, right? That different buzzwords emerge at different points in time. They're interpreted in different ways. Sometimes they become controversial, but almost always the buzzwords don't last, right? They rise and then they recede to the background, and there are new buzzwords, but for me, the important thing is to understand the thread through time, right? Kind of the underlying kind of challenges and content are what's important, not the buzzwords used to describe them.
Do you think ESG is also a buzzword?
Absolutely. Absolutely. All the earmarks of a buzzword, because it, of course, first emerged from the investment community, right? It was a fairly narrow buzzword, right? That stood for, on the kind of investment side, that looking at investments through the lens of ESG meant that you could assess risk, right, for current shareholders, exposure to climate risk, right, exposure to other risks having to do with environment and kind of social risks. And it was a risk mitigation tool, right? It was a way of evaluating companies in terms of how well they're buffered from those external risks. And it was all about protecting shareholders. And that's really what the whole first generation of ESG investing was about, and ESG ratings and so forth. That's the simple truth, right? That still is the current reality. But somehow the term ESG mushroomed, right, and turned into a much bigger idea, and sort of came to stand in for the term sustainability itself.
Thank you, Prof Stuart Hart. It has been wonderful talking to you.
I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you about it.
We hope you like this program. This program is also live streamed on All India Radio and aired on community radio stations. We look forward to your feedback on our WhatsApp number 9818120554. For participation in this program, write to us at sustainability.karma@gmail.com. You may also connect with us on social media. This podcast is also available on podcast hosting sites. Looking forward to meet you again at the same time next week with a new episode and a new guest. Till then, goodbye from all of us. Sustainability Karma, a podcast series with senior journalist and editor Rajiv Tikoo on sustainable development, sustainability, and ESG.